So Rafael Nadal survives a scare against Pedro Cachin in Madrid, and his last ever Madrid Open. The journey continues. Can he get through the next opponent? Stick around. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on his performance against Cachin and how I think he's going to get on against Jiří Lehečka. So, Rafael Nadal wins again in Madrid. But before we get into my analysis, make sure you've hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And stay with us for more Madrid Masters action coming up all this week. But here we go. Rafael Nadal wins again. But this time, not quite so impressively, it has to be said. The match against de Minaur, I thought it was a little bit touch and go. De Minaur probably wasn't at his top level, but Rafa definitely looked pretty good for spells of that match, and especially when he got going. This one, he didn't really seem to get going once Cachin got going, if you catch my drift, because Cachin just didn't turn up in the first set. I don't know what was going on. It was like they were playing patty cake out there on the court. Very soft tennis. Rafa would just jazz it up with one big forehand here and there just to win the rallies. And Cachin just looked a bit in awe of him, to be honest. Just to be on a court with Rafa in Madrid, soaked up the atmosphere. Forgot he was there to play tennis. And he lost that first set very convincingly. The first set was 6-1. And, well, after that, I just thought this is going to be a complete cakewalk for the likes of Rafael Nadal. So you can see here 6-1, but then it sort of turned from 1 point early in this second set. I mean, Rafael Nadal went off court in between, which I thought a little bit strange, only a short set, but that seemed to disrupt his flow, I think. And Cachin sort of just relaxed a little bit. He just realised, well, I'm only here once probably playing Rafa. This is probably the last time I'll ever get to play him if I don't get to play him in one of the next tournaments. So he tried some terrible tweener, which was at the start of the second set, and I thought, well, he's doomed now if that's what he's going for. It looks like he's just completely given up. But after that, he just switched on. Winners being hit, pushing Rafa around, wasn't getting bullied on his backhand side anymore, and his serve actually started to become effective, which it was just absent the whole of the first set, about 45%, I think, in the first set. Rafa's serve throughout was pretty good, to be honest. I'd say that was probably the one takeaway from today's performance. Rafa's serving did look good, and not too many errors from a serving perspective, but the forehand and the backhand, that was where we were seeing a lot of errors. And you can see with the stats here, 36 winners for Rafa, 32 unforced errors. Cachin, 30 winners, 41 unforced errors. It was quite an even match. And it was I couldn't really call it in that final set. I'd say the only thing that was sort of swaying it for me is the fact that every time Cachin seemed to be in the lead, it looked like he was going to throw it away every time. Didn't look like he wanted to win this match. Almost like, I don't want to say he was giving it to Nadal, but it was just a good matchup for Nadal, because somebody who's not going to be able to close out a match, especially when Nadal wasn't on great form. He was hitting a lot of errors. There was a lot of errors in that second set. I'd say there were still quite a few errors in the third set, but I think that Cachin's level just dropped a bit. He had the opportunities. I mean, I'll take you through some of the point by point as well. If you can see here, we can see how many breaks of serve there were as well. There was quite a few there, obviously, in this second set. And if we go to the third set, it was really anybody's. I mean, you can see here, Rafa took the lead and the advantage, but he got broken back, but then Cachin just let him break straight back again. I mean, for me, I thought he had an opportunity there, because it was sort of going, oh, I'll break you, you break me. It looked like he was going to be able to do it again. Rafa just did enough. I feel like Cachin just fell away a bit. I don't know what was going on. He looked like he was playing pretty well, maybe the occasion just got to him. Maybe the crowd finally started to voice themselves and help Rafa over the line as well. They seemed, as soon as Cachin started to play well, they just went quiet as well. Where was the support for Rafa just to try and G him up when he's not playing so well? They only seem to cheer when he's hitting winners. Don't seem to hear any murmurs from the crowd or any support when he wasn't playing well. But, I mean, they're just used to too much success, probably, from Rafael Nadal, and just think another winner is around the corner. It wasn't a level up from the match against Alex de Minaur. It was definitely a level down. I felt the level of competitor was a level down. Rafa's performance was a level down. It was a little bit concerning, to be honest. I think anybody else of a higher level than Pedro Cachin may have got Rafa out of there today, and that's a sad thing to say, but I think it's true. I think Rafa would be happy with his performance today, but this is what he had to say anyway. He said some moments were good, some moments not good. I found a way to get through. In the third set, even with some mistakes, I was able to be a bit more unpredictable, and that changed the match. I mean, he was becoming a little bit predictable. He was just firing to the Cachin backhand constantly, and he was only really finding success when he was putting a lot of pace on the ball, like just looping it to the backhand all the time. Cachin just became wise to it and actually thought, why don't I just start trying to dictate some of the rallies, which he did in that second set, and he was the deserved winner of the second set, even though he tried to throw it away from a very, very healthy lead in that second set. I mean, he was 4-1 up, and then somehow we ended up all the way back at 5-5, then in a tie-break. But that was just Cachin. I think it was a good level to see where Rafa's at the moment. I think the de Minaur one was a tough one. This one should have been easier, but it actually proved to be tougher. And the next match, I think, will be tougher still. I think this sort of, even though it's nice, and I think it is nice that Pedro Cachin, after their match, just asked for his shirt. Said, "You made my dream come true. Can I have your shirt?" A souvenir from one of the greatest legends in sports history. A beautiful moment. I mean, yeah, any other time I'd say maybe I'll give him a bit more of a hard time about doing this type of thing. But this is Rafa's last ever Madrid, and this is it's sort of like a special moment. Obviously, him playing against Rafa, I'm sure he's one of his idols as well. It's just, yeah, it felt a little bit like that when he was getting close to the finish line at big moments in the match, that almost like he was afraid to beat him at some points. But it is what it is. That's what's going to happen with some of these great players when they play lesser opposition. They sort of become a bit in awe of an idol down the other end of the court, and they know how big this moment is. Rafa there in the capital city in Spain, his last ever Madrid. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments section below. Do you think that Rafa was below par? Do you think he's just about where you thought he would be? Do you think Cachin played better than you thought he would? I want to know what you think. I thought Cachin should have really got him out of there today. I mean, I've said it already. I think other people would have been able to do so. I think one of the biggest takeaways as well from today's match is 3 hours and Rafa was able to get the victory and last the duration. Will he be paying for that in the next round? Well, that is the big question. Like Jose Morgado says here, very up and down, and he faces Lehechka tomorrow. So it's no easy pickings for Rafael Nadal, unfortunately. And a lot of people may think, oh, it's only Lehechka. There's probably some people who still, like the regular press, probably don't even know who Lehechka is still. I bet there's a few of them out there. Well, he's a very, very talented youngster from the Czech Republic, 22 years old, and he just beat Montero today. And then you're probably going to think, oh, Montero, he's not that great. Surely he's just been on the Challenger Tour. Well, he beat him in straight sets, and this is somebody who's just come back into form, I'd say. he just beat Tsitsipas, Lajovic in his last 2 matches. They're 2 very informed clay court players right now, and they got taken out in straight sets, and Lehechka's beaten him in straight sets. So Lehechka is on a bit of a run right now, and dangerous as well. Very, very dangerous. And I don't think that he's going to suffer in the same way that Pedro Cachin did. Yeah, I feel like he's got a little bit more cool veins on him, where he's not going to be feeling that pressure. He just plays his tennis, Jiri Lehechka. And I think this is going to be a really tough match for Rafael Nadal, and it's one that I'm actually not sure he's going to be able to win, in my personal opinion. I think that Jiri Lehechka, he's been fresh, and Rafael Nadal, well, 3 hours on court, that may catch up with him. But let me know your thoughts on Rafa's performance in that comment section below. And do you think he's going to be able to defeat Lehechka, or are you with me? I think Lehechka may be too much for him. But anyway, if you haven't already, smash a like, subscribe, and join us for more Madrid Masters action and the countdown coming up later.